Hey, fellow YouTubers, Tony Spera here, direct from the Warren's Occult Museum. I'm Tony Spera, your moderator, and today I'd like to talk about a few things that I think are important to the paranormal realm. And one of the things that's important is the use of religious artifacts when you investigate a house. And what I mean by that is being forearmed is being forewarned. In other words, if a police officer is going to go into a house where there's a violent suspect, he's not going to go in unarmed. He's not going to go in without a vest, without a suit of armor. He's going to go in protected as much as he can and with something to defend himself with, which is his firearm. So the same thing in the paranormal realm when you investigate the paranormal, when you're investigating a haunted house, for instance, with a family that's tormented by you don't know what. You don't know if it's a demonic entity or if it's a human entity. Now, let me just explain something to you. A human entity, one that's earthbound, in other words, a person who has passed on from this realm, from this world, and he died, but his spirit lived on and did not pass over correctly, as we say, but stayed earthbound for a variety of reasons. One of the reasons could be that it just wants to be around his belongings, around his surroundings that he's so familiar or she is so familiar with. Another reason could be they want to linger around to tell others what happened to them. Kind of like the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze trying to tell Molly what happened, how he got murdered by the supposed friend. There are earthbound entities, but what I'm talking about more or less is the entities that are more sinister than that, and I mean demonic entities. Entities that can harm the family and can harm you. How do you defend yourself from that? Because remember that the demonic is much stronger, much more knowledgeable and more cunning than you or I. So, what do? You have to arm yourself, right? The first thing you arm yourself with is faith. You have to have faith in the Lord, in your almighty creator. You know, we were put on this earth by a creator. We weren't randomly put here by something other than a creator. We weren't put here by the Big Bang Theory. There are people who believe that it was just some kind of an evolutionary process that started from nothing and became what you see all around you, the entire world, the entire realm of nature, of animals and human beings. All of those things were created by an almighty creator, and we call them God. Other people may have a different name, but it's the entity that created all of us. And you have to keep that in mind, that there is a higher power, one that we'll never fully understand until we pass on from this earthly plane, and which we all will. Like they say, no one gets out alive, and it's true, but their body doesn't get out alive, but their spirit does. Your faith in the Lord is your first level of protection. So what I like to tell my team and what I do is I close my eyes and I envision myself surrounded by a wonderful white glowing light, halo of light all around my body. This is your protection spiritually of your aura, because that is where the demonic are going to try to enter through your aura. They have to go through that aura, and they can't normally get there, because if your aura is protected, they can't get through, but even without the white light. But there are chinks in auras people have that we don't know about. I could have a chink in my aura right now and I don't know it. And who knows why you have that chink? It could be a lot of reasons. It could be for the reasons that you weren't very religious, that you've done some pretty cruel and horrible things, that you are dysfunctional, maybe a mental illness or drug use. Who knows what it really was that weakened that aura to the extent that a demonic entity can penetrate. We don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen to you. We don't want that to happen to me or my team. So we envision ourselves in what we call a Christ light or God's light of protection. That's your first order of business. And you ask God to protect you from any evil entities. The second thing that I like to use, well, I always carry it on me, of course, is a crucifix. It's a cross with the figure of Jesus Christ on it, and it's blessed by an ordained member of the clergy, so it's a sacramental. And that is what we use too. Always carry that on us. Also, holy water, blessed water. That's something that the devil despises. The devil hates holy water because it's blessed and ordained by a priest, by an ordained member of the clergy, a priest or a minister, and it holds power through the authority of God. It's another sacramental. Prayer. Prayer is what we use also, ladies and gentlemen, all the time. All the time. When we go into a house, we pray. Because prayer is disgusting to the demonic. When you say a prayer such as the Hail Mary, the Our Father, the St. Michael the Archangel prayer, the Apostles' Creed, the 23rd Psalm, Glory be to the Father, the Rosary, all of those things are like daggers into the eyes of a demonic entity. They hate it. They absolutely hate it. And to give you an analogy of what I mean is, say for instance that you're not a big fan at all of, say, rap music. You hate it. You hate the sound of it. You don't like it, we'll say. If you walk into a place, a club, and there's blaring rap music, how long are you going to stay in the club? Not very long. You're going to leave. You're going to say, I want to hear jazz or rock and roll or something else. And also we use incense, blessed holy incense, or pontifical incense it's called. It's the kind that the priests use in the church, where that's blessed by a priest, and we use that. That is another analogy, is like cigarette smoke to someone who doesn't smoke. Say you hate cigarette smoke, you never smoked, and you can't stand the smell. You walk into a club, they're playing rap music, and they're smoking incessantly, and the smell is killing you. How long are you going to stay in the club? Same with the demonic. They hate blessed incense. They don't like it. So what do? We burn incense in these houses. We use prayer, pronouncements for them to leave. And, of course, our prayer of protection, the St. Michael prayer. We carry medals, another sacramental, like the St. Michael the Archangel medal, the St. Benedict medal, the St. Michael the Archangel medal. All those types of blessed objects, they go a long way in reminding us that God, through his authority, is our protector and will protect us. So when you walk into a haunted location, a haunted house, you should be prepared for what's up, for those demonic entities that want nothing more than to see you fail. They want nothing more than to see you leave the house and not help the family that's afflicted. And remember, these aren't people who just hear a noise. These are people that are so frightened that a lot of times they won't even stay in separate rooms. They'll stay in the same bedroom and sleep at night. When one goes to the bathroom, the others will stand outside the door as protection for the person that's in the bathroom because they're so frightened. This stuff is real. This stuff actually happens to people, ladies and gentlemen. We're not in this business because it's a farce, Ed Warren wasn't in this business, and Lorraine Warren wasn't in this business for over 50 years because it's a farce, because the devil wasn't real. Every opportunity that Ed got and Lorraine got to tell people that the devil was real as a warning, they did. Because the devil is at work today, as the devil is every day of the year. It's getting worse and worse, because you know why? Could I tell you why? I'm going to tell you why. It's because the less you think about God, the more the devil tries to encroach. The less godlike things you do, the more the devil tempts you to do ungodlike things, trying to take over. You give them an inch, they want to take a mile. And it's true. That's how it is in the demonic realm. And the things you see today culturally in society, where there's a lack of respect for a lot of things. Lack of respect for the police, for instance, for authority in general. The devil loves it. Why? Because you're doing something that's contrary to God's teachings. Respect, love thy neighbor. You're breaking the one of the 10 Commandments, when you don't love your neighbor, when you treat your neighbor cruelly. So the devil goes, great, you're on my pathway. We don't want that to happen. It's happening in the United States right now, maybe all over the world, I don't know. But in the United States, it's getting little by little farther and farther away from the Lord, farther and farther away from righteousness and goodness. It really is. You know, I post things on Facebook. I'll put something up about a law enforcement officer, how he saves a child or whatever. It gets one like. You know, you put up a racy joke or something really ridiculous, you know, you get 200 likes. A lot of times when I put like respect the flag, respect authority, get 1 or 2 likes. That's how I know. That's how I can judge. I can get a barometer reading of society, that it's not working correctly, that our society is going down the tubes, and it's going down in a rather unflattering fashion. In fact, you know, when I was growing up, my father was very strict. He was an ex-Army staff sergeant in World War II. He'd been through a lot, and he had a hair-trigger temper too. But he always tried to teach us, my brother and myself, the right thing, the right way to be, the right way to act in life, and to respect people, to respect authority, excuse me, to respect your elders. Today, you know, you walk into a store and you hold the door for someone, a kid walks through the door in front of you and he doesn't even say thank you. Or the door slams by a youngster on me, who's much, much older. There's no respect. They bump into you, they don't even say excuse me. So I'm not saying they're all like that, but there are more and more. I see it happening. I see the way people act on the roadways. They can't wait 2 seconds to pull out. They're on your tail. They're in a hurry to go nowhere. And they may be going somewhere that they want to go, like the hospital, the way they drive. That's another whole story. But it all ties into the demonic. It all ties into doing the right thing. You know in your mind, in your heart of hearts, what's right, what's wrong. Is it right to call somebody names? Is it right to hate someone just because of the color of their skin or their nationality? No, it's not. God created all of us. What does that mean? That means God created and loves all of us. He didn't create people with a darker skin tone than me so I can make fun of them. He didn't create Asian Americans so I could hate on them and beat them up. No. Everyone needs love. Everyone requires love. And everyone should be loved because God created us in His image. And that's another reason why the devil doesn't like us, because we're created in the likeness and image of God. That's a hated image to the demonic, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. I learned a lot from Ed. I remember Ed telling me one time, he said, never kick a guy when he's down. You know what he meant by that? He meant a lot by that. He meant don't torment someone who's less fortunate than you. Someone who doesn't have any money, don't make fun of them. Someone who's homeless, don't make fun of them. That means they're down, right? They have no home. They have no income. They have no shelter, hardly any food. You don't make fun of those people. Those are God's people. Those are God's people. And I'll tell you right now that when you die, when you pass on from this earth, you're going to be judged. You're going to be judged for how you treat others. If you treated them fairly, kindly, lovingly, God will be smiling, and you'll be entering those gates of heaven. But if you are a cruel person, if you don't care about others, if you do everything selfishly for yourself, or for fame, or for money, or step on someone else because you want to get ahead and trash them, you're going to be paying for that in some fashion. Will you make it into heaven? I don't know. But it'll be harder for you to get into heaven than it will for someone who's kind and generous and loving. That I know. That I know. So, I want you guys to know about sacramentals, about prayer, medals, religious medals, the faith in the Lord, all the baptism, all those things. If you're not baptized, and if you're a Christian, you should get baptized. That is your protection. That wipes away your sins. So, I'm not trying to preach religious stuff to you, but it's all tied into the Warrens' history. It's all tied into the New England Society for Psychic Research that was founded in 1952, and of course I've taken it over from Ed and Lorraine. I worked with them since the mid-'80s. I learned a lot from Ed and from Lorraine both. Two fantastic people. Ed was the kind of guy who would never walk by a homeless person without giving him money. I know there's many people that don't agree with that, especially people who live in New York City, Los Angeles, big cities that have a lot of homeless population, that you can't help but walk by these people and they're asking you for money, and they look slovenly, and they don't look like the best people in the world. But who are you to judge them, right? Who are you to judge what happened to them, why they're like that? I always give money to a homeless person when I walk by. I learned that from Ed, because Ed said to me one time, he goes, I was walking down the street in New York, and in front of me was a businessman with a suitcase, well-dressed, very nice suit. He was about 20 yards ahead of me, and I was walking down behind him, and a homeless man came out and asked him for $1, and the businessman pushed him aside, says, "Get out of here. Get out of here." And the man kept walking. Ed came up to the homeless man and gave him $1 or $5, whatever he gave him. And the man said to Ed, "Can you imagine that guy? Look how much he had. Look what he has, and he wouldn't even give me any money." Ed never forgot that, because we could all be down and out, and God would want nothing better than for his fellow man to help out another fellow man. I'd like to see all of you guys in person someday, and maybe I'll see some of you at the Paracon that's upcoming now. It's in Waterbury, Connecticut. I had another listing, another YouTube the other day, and it said that it'll be at Waterbury's Courtyard by Marriott in Waterbury, Connecticut, on the 30th and 31st. The 29th is a VIP party where we have celebrity, the speakers, the guest speakers, and I'll be there, and Judy, my wife, will be there. But that's sold out, so we can only have so many people for that. The 30th is sold out, but the 31st, Sunday, Halloween, that's not sold out. So what you could do is go to www.warrens.net. That's WARRENS.net. Warrens.net. Click on Buy Tickets. You'll see the 31st is open for ticket sales. Yeah, I'd like to see you there, and I'll talk to anybody and everybody. And, I'll greet you. Judy will greet you. My team will greet you. Dan, Chris, Jimmy, Rick, and others. I have a Bishop Plato will be there, and he'll bless anyone who needs to be blessed. So it'll be fun. It'll be nice. So I hope to see you guys there. And I'm here at the museum today simply because I had to upgrade the alarm system. I had to wait for the technician to come in and upgrade the system around Annabelle and in general to give me a better system than I even had, which was quite good. It's ADT. ADT is a good, reliable system to have, especially when they tailor it to something like the museum here, especially a custom job they did for me, which is good, and I'm glad. I don't want anybody trying to break in here. If they do, the police will be here, because we have a police officer that comes quite often with his canine dog that you don't want to mess with. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be back talking to you. There's also going to be something exciting coming in the fall besides the Paracon, but I can't talk about it right now. I can't really let you know what it is yet, but it's going to be really, really good, and it's going to be really interesting, and I think you're going to enjoy it in the fall. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Spera again, your moderator, of course. Yes, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Of course, you know I like the Beach Boys, and anything that has to do with summer and fun, I like it. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are cool. I like your comments, and the comments I don't like, I won't respond to. So, for now, it's Tony Spera. Take care.